All right, so I hope everybody's having a good Thursday. So let's talk about this Asus ROG Ally. You know, this is something that I wish I didn't have to talk about, but in today's world, it's never a shortage of things to talk about and address. And this is one of those videos, yet again, that I have to address this because I can't just hold back and not say anything because I have to call it what it is. I have to say it the way I see it. Whether you like it or don't, I could care less. So, what am I talking about? All right, so I'm pretty sure you all know about all of this fan curve and people running everything on a turbo mode, and they're using the SD card and it's overheating and it's melting their SD card, which is right over here. First of all, speaking of SD card, I know that it's there. I can see it. I know that the headphone jack is there too, and I also know that the proprietary external port is there for the GPU for me to use. I understand. Just like this laptop here has a SD memory card, has a bunch of them in there in the back. I can use it, okay? But it doesn't mean I'm going to use an old technology just because it's there, all right? I have an SD card on my PlayStation 3, but it doesn't mean I'm going to use it. So what I'm trying to say is this. Why would you want to use an SD card, an old technology to begin with? It's an old technology. Something slow that reads really slow and it's slow. Why would you want to bother with that? I wouldn't. I wouldn't bother with that. I would use something that I'm going to benefit. And what is that that's going to benefit me? Not something that's, from 10 years ago, technology. Something that's current now. And what are we talking about? We're talking about NVMe solid state drive, SSD. You can get one that's 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes. And you can easily install 2 terabytes on this device. Yes, you're going to need to do some research. You're going to have to go ahead and figure out which type of Phillips screwdriver to use. It's not going to be easy, but that's the whole point of this video that I want to make. It's about people being too lazy to actually research anything on how to install something, how to take this apart, what type of screwdriver to use, what type of SSD NVMe do I need. All of this can be researched. You can look up the blueprint. You can see. You can go to the ROG Ally website. You can find out from them. All of this you can research through various different subforum, Reddit. If you spend time and if you're not lazy, if you research, you can figure out the way on how to install a 2 terabyte SSD. So how do you do this? All right, like any other research, take a notebook, one with a paper, not with the screen. Take a notebook and a pen or a pencil and go to your internet and start researching. What type of components do I need to install NVMe SSD? So go through the steps of what components do you need. Clearly, you're going to need a USB external hard drive to back up your Windows, to have the copy of your Windows there. So you're going to need some sort of a docking station that has a USB in it. Well, they do have a docking station that have a USB built into it where you can plug in your external hard drive and it's going to read it. I don't care if it's a Seagate or Western Digital, doesn't matter. You can go ahead and purchase on Amazon a docking station that has a USB 3.0s in there where you can plug in your external hard drive. You're going to need that so you can back up your copy of Windows 11. Now, when you back up the copy of your Windows 11 on your docking station through your USB 3 out to your hard drive, then Once you have that, once you have the copy of the Windows installed there, so what's the next step? The next step, it's of course to find out what type of Phillips screwdriver do I need to get these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws there in the back. So that's step number 2. So you figure out what type of screwdriver do you need. All right. Now, before you get to step 3, you need to find out how you take the NVMe SSD out. You need to go to their website or their YouTube channel, Republic of Gamers, ROG, and there's the video there. You can find out what is inside this Asus ROG Ally, and they're going to show you how to take the screws apart, how to take everything apart, this layer, back layer of the shell, how to take it apart, and they're going to show you exactly where the SSD NVMe is located, and they're going to show you how to unplug it, how to take it out. Remember, they're going to go through all these steps. They're going to show you to disconnect the batteries, because you don't want the batteries to be connected. You don't want any kind of like electricity to be connected. So you're going to have to disconnect the battery inside here. And you're also going to have to disconnect the LED lights. They're in here. And they're going to show you these steps, how to do that. And then you take out this 512 gigabyte SSD that's in here. You take it out and you put your freshly new 2 terabyte SSD in there. So before you move to step 3, you need to go check that out first. So what's going to be the step 3? The step 3 is going to be obviously for you to put everything back together once you install your 2 terabyte SSD, and then screw it all back in. And then the final step, step number 4, it's going to be to take your external hard drive where you have backed up your Windows 11. Use that hard drive where you backed up your Windows 11, and then plug it into your docking station USB 3. Make sure that your your Asus Ally, it's docked into your station, right? Make sure that it's docked in. All right, once it's docked into that station, then plug it in through the USB 3.0, and the USB 3.0 is going to be reading the copy of that backed up Windows 11. And when you power up your Asus Ally, it's going to ask you to choose a location where the copy of the Windows 11 is located, and you're going to select, of course, the USB external hard drive. You're going to select there, and then from there it's going to start reading the Windows 11, and it's going to install the Windows 11. It's going to go through all the process. It might take 10 to 15 minutes depending, how fast your hard drive is, meaning an external hard drive. And once that is done, boom, you're going to come to this Windows 11. You're going to have your 2 terabyte SSD in there, and you'll never have to worry about using the SD memory card and overheating. Okay. And another thing that needs to be mentioned is stop using the turbo mode, guys. Use the performance mode. I always use the performance mode. Use the performance mode and move the brightness down a little bit. All right, it doesn't need to be cranked up all the way high. You can move the brightness down a little bit, like I did here. Move it up to 15 clicks, and keep it on a 15 watt performance mode. 15 watt performance mode, it's more than enough. Okay, it's gonna run Call of Duty. I played Call of Duty on a performance mode. I mean, I can even show you Cyberpunk. I can play Cyberpunk on a performance mode, 15 watts with the battery. with the battery. So you don't need a turbo mode, okay? But if you want to use the turbo mode, don't worry. With the SSD, with a 2 terabyte SSD installed, you can easily use a turbo mode. But if you're going to be using a SD card, you're going to be running the games from an SD card, that's why that happens. And you're in a turbo mode and you're using the SD card. SD cards are too slow and they're going to melt. They're too fragile. Okay? And the fans inside here are not strong enough to be able to handle that, to keep that SD card cool. There's Cyberpunk. I'm on a performance mode, no issues. It's all good. So what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say here, without trying to sound too harsh or too tough, think of this like a drill sergeant, tough love. All right? I'm telling you to stop being lazy. You can't expect everything to be handed to you in a silver platter. All right? Companies like Sony, Microsoft, Samsung, LG, they're not in business of giving too much of a damn about you. They're in business on selling and making money. Everything that you buy, there's a risk involved. When I bought this PlayStation 5, I knew that there might be a risk. When I purchased the Steam Deck, I knew there might be a risk. When I purchased this laptop, that's $2,000, I knew there might be some risk involved. When I purchased this 65-inch OLED E8 in 2017, I knew there was a risk of burn-in and all that. But that's part of being an adult. You take responsibility on what you do. Instead of just, bitching and moaning on forums and Reddit, right? It's about taking responsibility and stop being lazy. Educate yourself, man. There's no reason why you can't do what I did. There's no reason why you can install a 2 terabyte SSD in here. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can do a research, you can do a research. Okay? If I can figure out how to use a PlayStation 2 emulator, you can figure out how to use the PlayStation 2 emulator. But the problem is people are lazy. They want everything to be handed to them on a silver platter. They don't want to do any hard work. Nobody wants to do any hard work. Everybody wants to just hand it to me. It's a generation of just hand it to me. No, you got to put in some hard work, man. You got to put in some hard work. You gotta go out there and educate yourself and learn how to do these things. How do you think I learned how to take apart my PlayStation 4 Pro top layer? I had to research. How I learned how to change my covers on the PlayStation 5. I did some research. You use the internet to research, and through research, you can go ahead and you can learn all of these things. Instead of going to the Pornhub, all these webcam models, simping for them, you can actually do something productive and learn. I never waste my time on things that are not productive. I learn. I learn how to do this. I learn how to do that. I learn how to be a better DJ, how to mix the tracks and this and that. I always learn. I go to do some research. Educate myself. I want to know. I want to learn. How does this work? How do you do that? How do you do this? That's interesting. Well, let me learn about that. I'm not so sure about that, but let me look into it. Let me learn about that. I mean, this is a common sense, guys, But everybody wants stuff to be handed to them. Everything that I do, I learn. Same thing with televisions, How does this work? How does that work? What's the process of the local dimming? How does the local dimming work? How do they achieve that? What's the difference between the edge-lit TV and a full array LED backlit? What's the difference between a vertical alignment and twisted twisted pneumatic TN panel? How does that work? What's the difference between VA panel which is vertical alignment, and the TN panel, which is twisted pneumatic. How does that work? You know, oh yeah, TN panel is shifting the colors, while the vertical alignment VA panel is not shifting the colors. What's the difference between OLED organic light emitting diodes versus LED backlit quantum dots, and what the quantum dot stands for, and how does that work? You know, you learn about the scaling and upscaling and dynamic resolution, all of this stuff. And again, I'm not trying to be pretentious here, but I've been doing this for 10 years. Everything I do, I try to learn. Sure, sometimes I make mistakes. You know, I have no problem admitting when I make a mistake, but I always try to go out there and correct that and learn that, you know. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is, don't be lazy. If you want to have this device, well, learn about it. Do some research. Like right now, you're probably looking for videos and researching, and then you probably came across me. Who is this guy? Oh, right. So take this as a lesson to learn. All right. If I want to purchase this device, let me learn about this device. The do's and no's. Like, what should I do? What I shouldn't do. You know, the positives and negatives. Should I do this or should I not do this? And let me learn about this device and how to use it properly, and what I should do, what I should install, what type of components should I buy, etc., etc. Instead of just, you know, bitching and moaning and saying that this is a garbage and this is useless, all because you fail to understand what's going on, you know. Yes, sure, I'm pretty sure people, you know, have faulty devices, but that's because they're not trying to even learn as to why that's happening. Instead of just saying, oh, this is a terrible device, let me throw it away, let me bitch and moan about it, right? Guys, stop being lazy. And if you don't want to put any hard work into this device, if you don't want to install the SSD, well, then this is not for you. Then maybe you should go look for something else. But don't tell me that this is a terrible device just simply because you're too lazy to do some research, and you're too lazy to buy a NVMe SSD, and you're too lazy to do it yourself. What do you want me to stop by your house and do it for you? Oh yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. For $1,500, yes. I'm expensive. I'll do it for you for $1,500. That's what happens when you're lazy, when you want someone else to do it for you. So what I'm trying to say is this, and I know people are going to take this video as I'm being harsh. I could care less what you think of me. I don't care. I could care less. I could care one less than a zero shit on what people think of me. Okay? But you should think about what you are doing and wasting your money buying this device, and then not even trying to put any effort to fix it or to learn how to use it properly. Why is it that none of my devices are broken? Why is it that my Steam Deck is working, that everything I have, it's working? Why is that none of my OLED televisions don't have any burn-in? Why? Because I'm some kind of Merlin? Because I'm some kind of magician? No. I don't have any superpowers. I do this thing called common sense and logical thinking, and then taking care of my products. I take care of my products. I learn about them. I don't purchase something without learning what it is and what I can do with it. I learn about the ins and outs of that product. Okay? And you should do the same thing. You should do the same thing, absolutely. So instead of, you know, complaining and moaning, you should do that. So here I am on a performance mode. It works fine. It's not going to be super fast, you know, thousands frames per second like it would be on this laptop or on your high-end desktop. But keep in mind what this is. Stop trying to compare this to a high-end desktop. It's not a high-end desktop. It's a small form factor of a handheld device. If you want to go ahead and turn into a desktop, well, that's why they gave you this proprietary outlet where you can use the X Mobile GPU. something like they call it XG or something like that. X Mobile external GPU. Say external GPU 4080, 4090. All right, and you can do that. But if you're going to be using it like this, and I assume that's the whole point of this device, is to use it like this, not to connect it to an external GPU. Why do I need it? Why would I want to buy external GPU? I already got a laptop for that, powerful enough. So we have to treat this device for what it is, and what it is, it's a handheld. It's not a super high-end, powerful a desktop. It's not it. It's a handheld device. Capiche? Got it? Communicate? Register? Yes? Crystal clear? We got this? We understand this? Good. So you have to treat it as that. All right? So educate yourself, guys. Stop being lazy and stop bitching and moaning. It's so annoying. This is why I have a difficult time on the YouTube community, because everyone is just bitching and moaning. It's like a Groundhog Day. I swear to God, I'm like a Bill Murray. I wake up every day, and it's always the same thing. People bitching and moaning. Oh, and these are grown-ass people. Married, grown-ass people. Married, grown-ass freaking people. Bitching and moaning. How pathetic. I don't care about your diploma. I don't care that you're married to a beautiful wife and you got all these kids. Shame on you. Shame on you. Grown ass men bitching and moaning instead of educating themselves, learning. My God, dude, this is why I have a difficult time on the YouTube community, because it's annoying. It annoys the freak out of me that you have grown ass people, married, bitching and moaning. Oh, this is unacceptable. Oh, I can't believe I wasted $700. It's unacceptable. I have to, I have things I gotta do. I'm a married man. I'm a busy man. I don't have time for this. To install the SSD. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I want my money back. Okay, then return it and shut the hell up. Return the damn thing and shut your mouth. Don't talk anymore. Be done with it and move on to something else. Let us, the rest of us who want to enjoy this, at peace. And stop with your nonsense subreddit freaking forums of bitching and moaning constantly about this Asus ROG Ally. Shut your mouth. And get on with your life. Will you? That's it. It's that simple. No one's forcing you to have this. You don't want to have it? Sell it. Sell it. But stop your bitching and moaning. Okay? And that's the way I'm going to end this video. Stop being lazy. If you want to have this device, learn how to use it. It's not just me that is having a good time with this device. There's a lot of people that have a good time with this device. You can go check out my video on my YouTube page. It's the first video. You'll see it is taking a lot of attention. Read the comments, look at the likes and dislikes ratio, and you will see that I'm not the only one that's having a good time with this device. But that's because I'm not lazy, and others who left a great comment, it's because they're not lazy and they understand where I'm coming from. They understand where I'm coming from. I don't care what the Asus says and this and that. Of course they're going to say anything just to let you hear what you need to hear. Oh, yes, sir, we'll look into that. We'll take care of that. This is the issue. Yes, we understand. But in the meantime, you can talk to our technicians, blah, 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 blah. Okay, spare me the corporate lullaby talk. I wasn't born yesterday. Okay? You, as a consumer, needs to educate yourself. Don't blame the company for selling you something. Blame yourself for buying it and not understanding how to use it properly, or failing to educate yourself on how to use it. All right. So that's it. That's all I got to say about that. And stop being lazy, guys. All right? If you don't want to use this device, then don't use it. Sell it and get yourself something else. All right? But I'm pretty sure even when you buy this laptop, you'll find something to bitch and moan about. That's the problem. I'm pretty sure no matter what you buy, you'll bitch and moan about. That's all you guys do, is the generations of bitching and moaning. That's what you do every day. Every single day. It's bitch and moan about everything. All right, this video is over. Over and out. I'm out.